All right, if you're in cybersecurity, I've got a question for you. Feel that? The ground is literally shifting under our feet. AI, it isn't just another tool in the toolbox. It's a whole new battleground. And the skills that made us pros yesterday, they're just not going to cut it for tomorrow. So in this explainer, we are going to break down exactly what you need to know about AI to stay relevant, to stay ahead, and we're going to do it by looking at CompTIA's brand new Sec AI Plus certification. Think of it as the blueprint for the skills you're going to need. Ready? Let's dive in. 73%. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's the percentage of security leaders right now saying they don't have the people with the AI skills they need. We're not talking about a little skills gap here. This is a massive industry-wide vulnerability. And the timing? It couldn't be worse. This is all happening right as the bad guys are starting to turn AI into a weapon against us. And this quote, man, it just nails it. The gap isn't a crack, it's a canyon. We're not just talking about learning a new app or a new piece of software. We're talking about a fundamental shift. Think about it. Traditional security is all about rules. If this happens, then do that. But AI security, it's about defending systems that learn and make guesses. It's a whole different ballgame. It demands a totally new way of thinking and a whole new playbook for finding the real risks. Okay, so how do we actually cross that canyon? Well, the industry is putting together a plan, a blueprint for what they're calling the AI-ready workforce. And that brings us to CompTIA's new Sec AI Plus certification. This is the first of its kind, really zeroing in on that critical spot where AI and cybersecurity meet. So let's get into the specifics, right? First off, this thing is launching in February 2026. And a huge point here, it's totally vendor neutral. What does that mean? It means it doesn't matter if your company is all in on AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. The cert isn't about a specific product. It's about validating the real hands-on skills you need to defend AI systems and use AI tools securely, whatever the platform. Now, this is absolutely crucial to get. This is not a certification for someone just starting out. Something like the Security Plus is for building your foundation. But Sec I Plus, CompTIA calls it an expansion certification. Think of it this way. It's for pros who've already been in the trenches for 2 or 3 years. It's not about learning to walk. It's about learning to sprint in a very specific, very important direction. It's all about specialization. And to build that kind of specialized skill set, you've got to start with the basics. It's just common sense. So that's exactly where the certification kicks off, with Domain 1, AI concepts. I mean, you can't secure what you don't understand, right? So let's take a look at how the exam actually breaks this down. All right. Here's the whole shebang, the breakdown of the exam domains. You can see the biggest chunk, a whopping 40%, is securing AI systems. And yeah, that's the main event. But look over here. That 17% for basic AI concepts, don't let the smaller number fool you. That is the bedrock. It's the foundation everything else is built on. Without it, none of the other stuff makes sense. It's basically the language you have to speak to even be in the conversation. And let's be super clear. When we talk about AI concepts, we're not saying you need to go out and become a data scientist. No way. This is all about looking at things like large language models or machine learning through a very specific lens, a security lens. The only questions that matter are, how can this be attacked? What new doors is this opening for the bad guys? That's our focus. Which naturally brings us to data. It's the fuel for all of this AI stuff. And you absolutely have to know the difference between structured data, think of a perfectly organized spreadsheet or database, and unstructured data, which is more like a chaotic mess of emails, images, and documents. Why does this matter so much? Because the way you secure them is completely different. And getting that data pipeline locked down, that's your #1 defense against nasty attacks like data poisoning. Okay, check this out. There's this technique called RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. The easiest way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like giving an AI an open book test. Instead of just using the old stuff it was trained on, RAG lets it go out and grab fresh, up-to-the-minute info from other sources to give better answers. Super powerful, right? But from a security perspective, uh-oh. You just opened up a brand new door for potentially malicious data to get into your system. And you better believe we have to secure that door. And all of this leads to one of the most fundamental rules of AI security. You can't just bolt it on at the end and call it a day. It doesn't work like that. Security has to be woven into the very fabric of an AI system at every single stage, from when it's just a doodle on a whiteboard all the way to when it's out in the wild doing its thing. So let's walk through this life cycle. At every single one of these steps, we have to be asking tough security questions. Step 2, data collection. Is this data real? Can we trust it? Step 5, deployment. Okay, it's live. How do we stop someone from stealing our model outright? And then step 6, monitoring. How are we looking for those super subtle signs that someone is messing with our system? Security needs a seat at the table for every single one of these conversations. So let's bring it all back home. Why does any of this foundation stuff actually matter to you in your day-to-day job? Simple. It's the new language of the security world. This knowledge is what separates a professional who's stuck in the past from one who's ready for the future. And the payoff here is huge, and it's immediate. I'm talking practical skills you can use tomorrow. Once you master these concepts, you're not just defending against these crazy new automated attacks, you're also the person who knows how to secure the AI models your own company's building. And maybe most importantly, you'll know how to turn the tables and use these same AI tools to make your own job easier, to hunt threats faster and be smarter than ever before. So I'm going to leave you with this one thought. For decades, what have we done in cybersecurity? We've defended the shell, the command line. Well, welcome to the new era. In the world of AI, the prompt is the new shell. It's a direct line into a powerful engine, and it is the #1 attack vector of the future. So the only question left is, are you ready to defend it?